take one back.
Yep, second game on Ohana. Hero got that first map win with a very nice play. Very different from the meta game, getting that speed prism. 19 worker kills, and I thought Protoss didn't have good harassment against Zerg, huh?
No, man, all you need are Immortals.
Immortals and speed prisms.
Yeah, Immortals, the ultimate harassment unit, right?
Yeah, apparently. I mean,
exactly.
2 Immortals one-shot a drone. It seems like a lot of overkill getting such an expensive unit for that, but
he made it work, man.
Yeah, and there's nothing that can kill the War Prism that early in the game from Zerg. Maybe it's Spore Crawlers, but then you can just approach it from an angle and take down the Spore Crawlers first.
And you have to be so careful moving out with Queens as well, because those
Exactly.
Immortals do so much damage to those Queens early game.
Queens are armored.
Yeah,
so
man.
just
That's
Queens
extra
against
damage.
Immortals. So you
not
need
good.
everything. You need Queens, maybe Spores, and you need a lot of your army to try and deal with that Prism. So that means Zerg, they're gonna be staying in their base. At any moment you could warp in a ton of army, so they can't afford to counterattack, which gave Hero the third base that Protoss always so desperately craves. It was just really, really cool. And Ian, I don't think he played that bad necessarily.
No,
I
not
think
at
he
all.
made intellectual decisions. Remember when he made his Spire?
Yeah.
That was also the moment he made his Roach Warren
That's
for the
right,
first
they
time.
were at the same time.
And that shows to me that he realizes that with a late timing, such as a Colossus timing would be, he doesn't need to make the Roach Warren that early. He understands the limits of what greed he is allowed to display in a game by delaying his Roach Warren. That gives him more drones early on, that gives him more money early on. So, very smart play for him, but especially smart players can get fooled by smart builds. Like, if he wasn't as good, Ian, he wouldn't have fallen for that build as heavily.
And once more, actually, in this game, almost getting that probe down to red health, but doing a little bit better is a Hero this time around. Not going to be losing that anytime soon at all. And yeah, like you mentioned, as soon as we saw the Gravitic Drive go down in game number 1, we were sort of rubbing our hands together going, ooh, I'd like to see what happens here. And Hero's micro with the Immortals was just sublime. I mean, he managed to... How many times did he drop those Immortals before he took out the Spire? It must have been like 5 or 6. He was really focused on that. And I don't even know if those Immortals died before they actually hit the Infestors. I don't think they did.
They ended up dying only
Like at the very end.
only due to the fungal growth in the
Yeah, it
end.
was so good.
They were definitely 2 little MVPs there. Now this probe potentially could try and cause some mischief, but Ian he's too experienced for that. Clears out that probe before it throws up his third hatchery.
Yeah, no attempt to block the third there, of course, because Lings are already out on the map. Ian gonna be chucking down that third hatch, like you mentioned there. Grabbing both of his gases now is Hero in his main base as well, so we'll be able to see a little bit of the tech options available to him shortly as well. Gateway gonna be completing at the wall. Everything looking fairly standard so far. Should be expecting a Cybernetics core very shortly.
He's gonna throw up that Cybernetics core there, a little bit away from prying eyes, but not too far away that Ian couldn't potentially sacrifice something to get some information on that.
Yeah.
Now, Ian is probably just gonna try and play this reactively.
Moving the Cybernetics core, of course, a little bit further away from the wall. Really annoying when you're being sieged at the front of your base and then the Cybernetics core gets picked off. You can't make Stalkers, you can't make those sentries. Reminds me of a certain Protoss player we know that likes to put the Forge behind the mineral line, for example.
Yeah, it definitely allows you to still make cannons.
Yeah.
Actually, I had some cool games where people roach Lingle in me on the Korean server,
Yeah.
and then I could just still remake cannons.
Yeah.
Because I didn't end up
Because you don't
losing
lose
my
your
forge.
Forge, yeah, exactly.
Now, here comes that confirmation again. This time he sees the third hatchery finish, so Hero knows once again it's up to him to decide what he's going to do next. Now he's making that robo facility, going for the 2 extra gases again.
Yeah.
And Hero knows that, you know, fast forward 10 minutes, if they both stay on the amount of bases that they are on now, it's not going to be good for him. So he has to do something here that gives him some advantage. Either a third base or some kind of smart aggression again.
Well, he's getting his third and fourth gases almost immediately here, so I wonder if he's just going to be going for a very, very tech-heavy transition shortly. The robotics facility is about to complete. Could we even see him go into some sort of immortal timing? Well, it's still technically on the cards based on what we saw in the previous game, but it looks like the Warp Prism, once again in game number 2 here, is going to be Hero's weapon of choice.
Yeah, so this time, guys, no immortals produced before that Warp Prism comes out, so it's gonna be Sentry dropped with something maybe. He's making 4 extra gateways now. Let's see up to a total of how many gates he's gonna go. Whenever I see this, it always comes to mind that potentially we could be seeing like something like a force field lockout here in the main base
exactly.
when you're dropping
sentries.
Sentries.
That's so painful when you see that and you realize there really isn't too much you can do about it as well. And there we go, the other 2 sentries at the watchtower getting picked up from Hero now, so it looks like a sentry lockout is the order of the day, and we don't have any units at the middle watchtower. Hero's obviously counting on this because he moved the Warp Prism straight over that watchtower. Let's see what he can do here with these sentries.
Now the Lings are already arrayed in a smart position, protecting that top of the ramp there. And Hero, what is he going to do with these sentries? Is he just going to take down one Zergling and lift off? Yes, he is.
I'm gonna be honest, that wasn't the most cost effective. I mean, 1 Zergling, that's great. That's like 1-0. You're still winning, right?
Yeah, first blood to Hero this game.
No 200 extra gold, unfortunately. Sad for him.
No, does not pass start. Hey, actually, this is an Immortal in where he changes the pace of the game. He has chosen to make units in a different order. He's gonna go Warp Prism first, and then he makes 2 Immortals and he's gonna go all in. So this is very different here, and how does Ian deal with it? Does he read the situation here? He obviously saw those Immortals there, and he's gonna choose to go with
Hydralisk Den.
Hydralisk Den, but the fact that he's making 3 more drones makes me wonder, and the Spore Crawler, he doesn't actually know.
No, he thinks that the Warp Prism is going to come in for harass again by the looks of things. And,
but this is a
this
full
many
flesh
sentries.
attack.
Oh my goodness, there are more than enough force fields to deal with these Lings though, because so many sentries are here right now. The 2 Immortals able to do a decent amount of DPS in the back, moving up the ramp. There is nothing Ian can do about this as, actually not quite getting force fielded out. A little bit sloppy there from Hero, but still able to take everything out. 87 to 92 supply, but that's going to fall very, very rapidly at this point. The Queen going down like a stack of hotcakes, ladies and gentlemen, at the natural expansion. Good zoning out with the force field at the main base, and it looks like Ian's going to seriously struggle to contain this. It's looking very difficult for Zerg now.
Units lost app is pretty interesting to see. There was a Zealot lost by Hero, and I'm sure he's kicking himself in the face for that.
He lost a